Welcome back, everyone. I'm here with Troy Parkins, and he is the VP of Market Operations for Barrington Broadcasting. And now we are talking all about social media today and how that affects businesses and, I mean, all kinds of stuff. This guy knows a lot. So thank you so much for being here this morning.
It's good to be here.
Now let's talk about this one main thing. Why do you think social networking has become so popular?
Well, I mean, people use it, right? I mean, Facebook has 800 million people, 450 million sign in every day.
Wow.
Twitter, I just read a stat, 11 accounts are created on Twitter per second. They're going to eclipse 500 million sometime next month, okay? So people are using social media. It's here to stay.
It definitely is. Now, do you think Facebook is phasing out? We're talking, I think things are kind of leaning towards Twitter now. It's short and sweet. What do you think's going on with Facebook? They're changing stuff all the time. You got the new timeline. What's going on?
Yeah, I think, you know, Facebook's changing. You have a lot of people leaving Facebook, going to Twitter, right? So I don't know if you're going to say Facebook's dead, but it's two different types of services to use, right? And businesses can use Facebook different. They use Twitter different. But yes, there are a lot more people using Twitter, and I know a lot of my friends are going to Twitter, and they have been upset about the changes that Facebook has made. And Twitter's simple, right?
It is, and now you gave a very great analogy about Twitter and how it's very concise, and it's sort of like an old telegraph that we used to have. Talk a little about that.
Brad, I like to say that we've come full circle with communication, right? Back in the day, you had a telegraph, and you had to get across to whoever you were speaking to across the country in 4 words, right? You had to get across your idea in 4 words, okay? Think about where we are with Twitter. You're at 140 characters. You need to get across your point short, sweet, efficient, just like the telegraph. So we've almost come full circle in terms of communication. And it's very important when you are using Twitter that you are concise in what you're saying, and if you're a business using Twitter or you're a news agency, you need to get your point across very quickly.
Definitely. Why do you think it's so important for businesses to get on this social media train and take flight? Because, I mean, this is how people communicate now. It's so important, but why is that?
Well, I think you just said it, right? Everybody's using it. This is another way that businesses can reach out and talk to their clients, their customers, people that use their services. So you think about it, right? I mentioned all those millions of people using these services, right? This is just another way for businesses to reach out to these people. And they can do things like address customer concerns, for example.
And I think one of the things that's so important about that is learning how to be real and show that there's a person behind there, and we're not just trying to sell you things all of the time, but we want you to know who we are, and we want to give you tips. And one of the things that you can do for social media, talk a little bit about, instead of just sell, about people reaching out and making relationships.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people they don't want to be sold to all the time, okay? You don't want your Facebook news, line being cluttered with, buy this, 25% off, right? If I like a company, what I want to hear is I want to hear what they're doing. Maybe they're going to give me some inside information, right? Maybe, they're going to give me a recipe for whatever product that they have, right? That's the kind of stuff I want to hear. I don't want to be sold to constantly, right? If I'm following someone on Twitter, I want to hear what they're doing in their personal life. I want to know they're not a robot. I want to know that they are a real person. And that's how businesses and people can reach out to their followers or people who like their business pages.
So now, talk a little about Southwest Airlines and an example that you have of how Southwest Airlines has reached out through Twitter.
Yeah, Southwest, brilliant use of Twitter. Here's an example. I had a friend who her 75-year-old mom got stranded, okay? You know how that gets, right? Snow, you get stranded. She couldn't catch her flight. She couldn't catch her connecting flight. She was on Southwest Airlines. She went to the gate agent, and for some reason, they weren't going to put her up in the hotel. So she called one of my friends, and she called her daughter, and her daughter tweeted, right?
Angry tweet.
Angry tweet. Called out Southwest Airlines, said, thanks for stranding my 75-year-old mom, and, that's a fail.
Fail.
Yeah, that's a fail. What happens? Southwest, within 2 to 3 minutes, they responded back to her, responded directly to her and said, call us. She called them back. They set her mom up, and they fixed the situation. So what did she do? She tweeted right back, gave Southwest a big win, right? So right there, Southwest used this new technology to reach out to a customer. They were constantly monitoring what people were saying about their business, and they were able to remedy the situation.
There you go.
Great
Wonderful.
way to use it.
It really is. Now, where do you see the future of social networking going for businesses? What's next?
Yeah. Well, I think, businesses need to use the two big giant companies that are out there right now, Facebook and Twitter, right? They need to understand how to use that. There's always the new bells and whistles and the new thing coming down the block, right? Foursquare's coming down the block, right? Things like that. But really, I think they need to understand how to monetize and how to use and engage their audience on Facebook and Twitter. And a lot of businesses haven't done that yet.
Right.
So when you talk about the future of it, I think the future really is how do you use what you have right now and monetize it and engage your audience.
There you go. And it can seem very overwhelming to a lot of people, especially because there's so many to choose from. What do you think are some easy steps they could take just to get their feet in the water and to attempt to get out there and start using this to work their way in?
Well, a lot of people are afraid of technology, right? They hear that, oh my God, Facebook has all my information. I'm going to get compromised or hackers are going to come and get me. Well, yeah, I think it's all about what you share, right? I mean, you could get on Facebook, you could get on Twitter. You share as much information as you want to share, right? Yes, there are privacy preferences, but I always tell people, hey, if you're going to put something out on the web, assume that it's going to go to everyone, okay? And that's kind of what I tell people because, you never know, okay? So if they're going to get their feet wet, try out Facebook, try out Twitter, use it. It's fun.
Definitely. All right, guys. Well, that was Troy Parkins. Again, he's the VP of Market Operations for Barrington Broadcasting. And we really appreciate all of your insight this morning.
Good to be here. Thank
you guys get out there and just try it out. And it'll really, I think, help your business a lot. And we'll be back with a good day in just a few moments.